Malley unable to make the tag. Blackwell lifts Malley with a body slam. Blackwell retreating, takes to the elbow leg drop. Oh. I think I can safely describe that as a giant leg drop. Count of 1. Oh, Blackwell wouldn't pin him. Blackwell could have pinned him, and he wouldn't do it. He wanted to hurt him. Blackwell could have pinned him there, and he wouldn't do it. Robertson with a fist clench, staring at Blackwell. Blackwell again refusing to pin the man. Robertson yells in at the other referee, why don't you stop him? The man may be hurt. Blackwell strutting. And again, Blackwell and Robertson yell one another, and the referee chases Dewey Robertson back to the corner. How do you like that, says Crusher Blackwell. Malley, really groggy. I think Blackwell could have pinned him before and just refused to do it. Oh, running body slam by Blackwell. This could be it. Oh, tag's made. A tag was made, and Robertson comes into Blackwell. Looked like Blackwell had him down, and Robertson was tagged in. Blackwell got in the wrong corner after that running body slam. Headbutt by Blackwell knocks Robertson out of the ring. Oh, Blackwell's going out after him. Blackwell going out of the ring after Dewey Robertson. Blackwell pounds on Robertson outside the ring. Another smash by Blackwell and Dewey Robertson outside the ring. A shot to the stomach by Blackwell. Blackwell, a forearm smash. Robertson trying to keep his feet. Blackwell, oh, he tried to run him into the post. Robertson stopped it and slammed Blackwell head first into the post. And Blackwell doesn't even seem phased. Robertson and Blackwell battling outside the ring. I think the referees reached the count of 20. Blackwell again run head first into the ring post by Dewey Robertson. And Blackwell not even moving. Robertson grabs a chair, and we have a confrontation outside the ring between Robertson and Blackwell, who I do believe are both counted out outside the ring. Tom Malley, he's out of the picture. The crowd starting to yell, Dewey, Dewey, Dewey. The referee's trying to keep Robertson and Blackwell apart. Now Blackwell grabs a chair. Blackwell grabbing a chair. And Robertson and Blackwell beating himself in the head with the chair, as though to tell Robertson, you can't hurt my head. That guy is rather unbelievable. Now Robertson offering a challenge to Blackwell. The referee's trying to keep them apart. Well, let's go to Mickey. Well, maybe we won't, because Blackwell trying to get back in, and Eddie Smith and Lee Warren have their work cut out keeping these two apart. Robertson wanting a piece of Blackwell, daring him to come into the ring.
More action is coming on the Best of Wrestling at the Chase.
Kiniski with a punch to the stomach. A hard kick from Kiniski. Kiniski catches Sweetan coming from the ropes with a knee to the stomach. Kiniski whips Sweetan into the corner. Sweetan lifts that knee, drops Kiniski, covers his shoulder. He's got his foot on the ropes, count of 2, and the referee spots Sweetan using the ropes to try and put the shoulders of Kiniski down. The referee very alert there, seeing what was happening. Sweetan, though, although foiled in that bid to pin Kiniski by his illegal use of the ropes. Oh, he's going for the pile driver. That's his specialty, the pile driver. Sweetan, the pile driver on Kiniski. This could be it. Sweetan covers the ropes. Kiniski's feet are on the ropes. Kiniski got his legs on the ropes after Sweetan delivered the pile driver, but this could be it. The former world champion in trouble. The pile driver from Sweetan. Kiniski pushes Sweetan into the corner, drives the shoulder to the stomach again. Kiniski still groggy from that pile driver. He finds Sweetan behind him. He lifts Sweetan, backbreaker. The backbreaker by Kiniski. He covers Sweetan, count of 2 and 3. That's it! Gene Kiniski pins Bob Sweetan.
Murdoch found out after a match with Pat O'Connor.
Pitched aside by Murdoch. Murdoch going wild, pounding on O'Connor. He begins strangling Pat O'Connor. Riley trying. Here comes King Kong Brody. Here comes Brody. Here comes Brody. Murdoch and Brody toe to toe in the middle of the ring. Brody flattens Murdoch and chases Murdoch outside the ring. King Kong Brody chasing Dick Murdoch back to the dressing room. O'Connor clearly injured, badly hurt, and King Kong Brody coming right out of the ring. Studd crawling through the rope. Big John Studd going out of the ring and after Ted DiBiase. He slams DiBiase into a chair. Big John Studd slamming DiBiase into a chair outside the ring. And again trying to ram him into another chair. Studd and DiBiase battling outside the ring. We have a Donnybrook. It's Studd and DiBiase outside the ring. Studd slammed headfirst into the apron. DiBiase grabbed the chair. DiBiase grabbed the chair. Oh, and he clobbers Studd over the head with the chair. Studd still won't quit. Both men outside the ring. The match is being stopped. They're outside the ring 20 seconds. They're trying to restore order. Studd slammed into the steps. Big John, look out! Studd has slammed DiBiase into the ring post and then into the press table. Studd battering DiBiase outside the...
Here in St. Louis and all over America, in wrestling capitals, they're buzzing with the fact that you, Ric Flair, have captured the coveted crown, the $10,000 gold belt. But there's a serious challenge right here in St. Louis from a 6 times former world's champion, Harley Race.
Well, that's right. And that was the question in everyone's mind. Would Ric Flair accept the challenge of the former 6 times world champion, Harley Race? The answer is yes. You know why? Because my ego says so. Now, Race, there's a lot of people that say that was a very foolish move on my part. But I don't always think things out the way I should. My ego and my thirst and my want of being called the greatest of all times sometimes push me past my better judgment. Now, St. Louis has got the match. It could have been anywhere, but it's in St. Louis. And the Nature Boy, take a look at it. This time is coming down that aisle, coming down that highway, rolling down that runway. From his personal jet to his limousine to that entrance down that aisle. St. Louis, the Nature Boy is coming to town, this time as the world champion. And I know the women are going to be falling all over me. Stay away from me, because it's business. I'm going to defend my title. It's not your title anymore. Dusty Rhodes stands out here and said, I am the people's champion. No way. I'm my own champion, and this is mine. Fought for and taken by me. And Race in St. Louis, it's going to be a classic. And you're going to have to be at your best, because the Nature Boy, woo, is going to be the world champion for a long, long time. And I want Harley Race. I want to be able to say I beat Harley Race. I want to be called the greatest of all time. Harley, St. Louis, the Nature Boy is coming to town, the champ.
Harley Race has that opportunity when he meets Ric Flair. Now, let's hear from Harley Race.
Well, it was signed Dusty Rhodes. I have trained Dusty Rhodes, but I have not been 6 times world heavyweight champion for the want of not being able to shift gears and do what I want to do when I want to do it. So I'm going to have to do it one more time around. I've been thinking all this time that it's Dusty Rhodes. Well, I've got to shift that gear and adjust to Ric Flair. But the one thing that I can say, and say with all sincerity, that I am a proven product. I am a man that has proven myself not once but 6 times around. And I have also proven that I could beat Ric Flair. Not once, but at least on 3 different occasions, I have put the man's shoulders to the mat for the 3 count. Now, whether it is Flair or whether it is Dusty Rhodes, I have been able to adjust. I have been able to come from here, suck it up, and do what I have to do no matter who it is, no matter where it's at, around the world. I have been world's heavyweight champion on a trip to Japan, arrive in Japan and be beaten. And 1 week later, turn it around. I am the man that's capable of turning it around. And Ric Flair, I'll guarantee you this, that you're going to have the toughest human being that ever put on a pair of wrestling shoes and ever walked into a squared circle anywhere in the world. When you walk into the ring against Harley Race, you may think that you pulled off the greatest upset in the history of wrestling. I have been the upset in wrestling for over a decade. Since 1973, I have been the man that's dominated wrestling, and I'm going to do it again, buddy. The Big 7 is up.
O'Connor trapped by Sweet Tan and Kirby. Side headlock. Off the ropes comes Sweet Tan with a flying tackle. O'Connor rolls, catches another flying tackle. O'Connor moves behind Sweet Tan. Reverse rolling cradle. This could be it, but Sweet Tan gets away. O'Connor behind Sweet Tan with the sleeper. O'Connor with the sleeper on Sweet Tan. Sweet Tan thrashing about, trying to get to his corner where he can tag Kirby. And does so. Kirby charges O'Connor, runs right into the sleeper again. O'Connor now with the sleeper on Kirby. Sweet Tan too groggy to do much good, helping Kirby. It's pretty much up to Kirby right now. Sweet Tan still in the corner trying to regain his bearing. Time running out. O'Connor trying to put Kirby away. Sweet Tan trying to get in there. Huber comes in to help. There's the bell. The time limit has expired. Kirby held on. Terrific. This weekend, a mixed tag.
In St. Louis, Kerry Von Erich scored one fall over this man, the world champion Ric Flair, but it was in tag team action. And now Kerry Von Erich says he wants to go for it all.
Well, let's look at it like this. Kerry Von Erich is a very fortunate young man to even have the opportunity to be wrestling Ric Flair for the World Championship again right now. Now, St. Louis and their promotion there has shoved this down my throat. Okay, he scored a fall in a tag team match. I don't claim to be the greatest tag wrestler of all time. I claim to be the world's heavyweight wrestling champion. Now, Von Erich, you got your shot, brother. August 3rd. You and I, we're in. St. Louis is going to be on fire because they're starved for the sight of a real man. The world heavyweight champion's coming to town to fill that gap. And Von Erich, when I get through with you at the Kiel, I guess I'll just doggone call Ric Flair a legend in his own time.
All eyes of the world will be on St. Louis in the Kiel Auditorium. You know, Ric Flair, you and I go back a long way. We fought all over this world. Well, you know, my brother David, he would have rather won that World Heavyweight Championship in St. Louis more than anything in the whole world. Well, now being the former champion and competing for the title against you, Flair, I've got my opportunity. The dream of my brother is now my reality, and that is to take the World Heavyweight title in St. Louis, Missouri. You know, I've got so many people backing me. They say that in Texas Stadium, 40,000 people was just unheard of. That's just a marvel. Well, you know, St. Louis has always backed me. I think more than Texas has ever backed me. And so I just wish we could I just wish there was more people could get in the Kiel Auditorium to see me take the World Heavyweight title from you, Ric Flair.